We end up staying in relationships with narcissists and other toxic people way longer than we should. Even if the relationship ends, we actually stay connected to this person for weeks, months, and in some cases, even years after the relationship has dissolved. In this video, I'll tell you how this happens and why, even though this person is not right for us and we know it, we stay hooked to them anyway. Hi there and welcome. My name is Jess. I'm a survivor of a narcissistic relationship and now a survivor coach for others. If you're new, subscribe to my channel so that you catch all of my latest videos on narcissistic awareness and support from a fellow survivor. So here are some reasons why you stay way too long with a narcissist. Number 1, you're trauma bonded. A trauma bond forms between you and the narc because of the love bombing and devaluing. The push, the pull, the back and forth, the standard toxic relationship stuff. They pull you close and push you away over and over. It creates confusion among many other things. What some survivors feel when being love bombed can be absolutely euphoric. And you can very easily become addicted to the narcissist, the love bombing, the drama, the fights, the attention, and all of the above. Once the addiction forms, it's even harder to quit, and it keeps you involved with this person way past the expiration date. Number 2, you've normalized the bullshit. And what I mean when I talk about normalizing is that when something wrong happens, it's at a slow, subtle rate most of the time that we don't pick up on. Sure, you see those off-putting things here and there, a red flag occasionally, but it's normally not enough to send all of your bells and whistles going off all at once. So what happens is we slowly get used to it, and it slowly gets worse. And half the time, we don't even realize it. Some people use the frog in the water on the stove as a reference. You put a frog in some warm water in a pot on the stove, and you slowly raise the heat. But because you're doing it so slowly, poor little froggo doesn't notice. Barbaric and awful example, but it kind of works to explain the situation nonetheless. Most survivors have a history of normalizing the bullshit, seeing toxic relationships, turning the other cheek. You don't want to say anything. You don't want to start a problem. You don't want to be the wave maker. And in fact, expecting things to get worse. Thus, it keeps you dealing with this person longer because, well, things aren't really that bad. I don't want to be called out as a nag. I don't want to be this and that and told that I'm negative and upsetting. I just won't say anything. Or, that's weird, but I'm not going to say anything. We get pulled right into that line of thinking. What were some really toxic, completely unacceptable things that you normalized in your relationship with a narc? Share those with me down in the comments. Number 3. You make the one-day wager. Ultimately, survivor, this is all about hope. The hope that you have that one day, right? The person wakes up. They're going to see the light. They're going to see the error of their ways. They're going to realize what you do for them, how much they mean to you, how much you mean to them, all that stuff. You're waiting for that day to see that change, that real change. You know it, you can feel it. It's right there on the horizon. You just have to wait a little bit longer, one more day. And that's why we hang on. There's that fear. Well, if you leave on Friday, what happens if Saturday they were going to act right and it was all going to click into place and make sense? This beautiful relationship was going to be exactly what it needed to be. It was going to be all rainbows and puppy dogs. This is the most dangerous one-day wager you can make. But what's really weird is the way it works in your brain because it doesn't sound like much, does it? 24 simple little hours. I'm sure for most of us, 24 hours doesn't even seem like enough in a day. It's not enough hours for me. So you think, well, what's the harm? One more day. They're going to see it. A few days. A week. Well, I'll give them till the end of the month. Well, the holidays are coming. I don't want to do anything right now. Well, everybody needs 6 months to realize I have value. Wow, survivor. We just went from one day to half a year, didn't we? And it goes by in a flash. You stay waiting for that day, But look at how many days you actually ended up just sitting and waiting, not living your life, not moving forward, and not experiencing other things that are out there for you. Number 4, you stay because of kids. I really can't stress enough not to do this, but in case I have to, do not do this. Your kid from a broken home will be just fine. I know, because I'm from one. My narky dad bailed out when I was 15 and never looked back. When he left and thankfully wanted nothing to do with me ever again, my life began to greatly improve. I was going from nearly failing the 9th grade because I was so screwed up that by the time he was actually gone, when I was like 15, 16 or so, I was doing most of my high school work from home without guidance, nearly completely independently, flourishing with a 4.0, happiest I had ever been in my life because it was just me and my not super narky, depressing, emotionally abusive parents. All things considered, though I was still an angsty teen, I mean, life was not perfect, but don't stay in these relationships because you have kids. I'm here to tell you, as the result of that, it sucks ass. We don't like these people. We don't want to spend time with these people. We know they're our parents, but you're forcing us into toxicity. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to leave and go. It's hard for us kids too. I didn't love what was happening to me, but I promise you, staying does more damage. I was more damaged in those 15 years than in the 15 years without him. Again, I know, ask my therapist. Leaving now can let you spend time with your kids and try your very best to kind of like undo what's been done, which is impossible. But of course, you're a parent, you love your kids, you're going to give it a shot. Let them know you love them, you care about them, and you're always going to be there for them. It's what my mom did. It's the best thing you can do. Don't stay to have a family. It isn't a family. I promise you, keeping your children around a toxic, abusive person, survivor, that is truly the definition of a broken home. To get help and support for what you're going through, you can talk with me one-on-one by sending an email to bookachatwithjess@gmail.com, or you can visit my website, jess-stanley.square.site. All of that information and more is right down in that video description for you. Number 5, you stay long after it's over. After enough time, a breakup eventually occurs. Divorce is entertained, so on and so forth. But a lot of times as survivors, we don't leave. You get roped into trying to give this person more time and make things right before you go through with a divorce, for example. You're talked into being friends with them long after the breakup, and it'll happen for months and months, sometimes even longer. You're still all entangled with this person, even after it's all said and done. You don't need a connection with an ex. However, when we've had this person around, it's hard to really know what to do without them. We become dependent on them. Who else do we go to? Sometimes the list of other people we have to go to when we don't have this person anymore is slim to none. Let's face it, survivor, sometimes there just isn't another person. But that doesn't mean that we need to stay involved and hanging on to this person and to stay around longer than we really truly need to be. There's no point in going where we got hurt, continuing to look for some kind of comfort or some kind of something. I'll be honest with you, survivor. I've been in the toxic bullshit and I've done it on my own. On your own is, of course, lonely, but honestly, it's a little bit more comforting because at least when you're alone in your own thoughts, you know there's at least some sincerity there. Number 6, you entertain hoovers. Naturally, coming back after some silence just allows things to pick right up where they left off with these people. I don't really want to spend too much on hoovering. I've got a million, videos about it. So here's what I will do. I'll put videos down in my description about hoovering, going no contact, gray rocking in case no contact isn't an option for you, how to detach, how to break the trauma bond, a whole bunch of that. I'll put links to all those videos down there. I highly encourage you to check those out if you feel like you need more information on any of those topics. pretty much every topic I listed, I have a whole playlist on that you can jump into and poke around in those videos. But like I say, I'll leave the links. If you want to get connected with me and other survivors, then I invite you to become a channel member. Becoming a member grants you access to loyalty badges, emojis, even more of my videos, and access to my Discord server, where myself and other survivors are chatting together in a group setting every day, all day long. There's a link to join down in the video description, or you can click the join button just below the video. We look forward to seeing you, chatting, hanging out. See you soon. Spending too much time with the wrong person can be definitely a result of low standards and boundaries. It's vital that we spend time alone to work on those. Hell, I not only had to work on those, I had to figure out what they were and actually get them first. We need to move on with our life, even if we can't fully break away because we have kids, we share a business or something. Standards, boundaries, consequences, and expectations need to be had, secured, and worked on. Ultimately, you're missing out on others who are better suited for you, wasting way too much time on the wrong person. And even if you don't want to jump right back out there, that's totally understandable. But you're still missing out on a life without toxicity and abuse that no one deserves to endure. Did you stay hooked on the narcissist for far too long? Which of these things that I talked about happened in your relationship? And of course, what did I miss? Let me know all of those things down in the comments. Thanks so much for listening. Leave a like on the video if it helped you. Check out all of my information I have down in the description. Have a great day, survivor, and take care of yourself.